On this Hubnut video, can I start my Citroën GSA on the starting handle? I'm intrigued to see if I can. Before we find out whether you can hand start a Citroën GSA, let's have a little bit of Citroën GSA history. The GSA was launched in 1980, but it was very much just a facelift and a hatchback evolution of the GS, which had been launched in 1970. So 50 years ago, this shape was launched on the world. This one dates from 1986, which is right at the end of production. They did actually overlap with the Citroën BX, but I think production actually ended in 84, so this one must have sat around a while waiting for a new home. The engine we're trying to hand start is a flat 4 1299cc air-cooled engine, so a bit like a Volkswagen Beetle, but with overhead camshafts and rubber belts to drive said camshafts. We've got Citroën's hydro-pneumatic suspension, so the car will fully self-level no matter how much weight is in the car. It's very, very soft. The ride is absolutely superb. No power steering, but we do have the famous Citroën power brakes. But for me, I think possibly the most exciting aspect of this car is the speedometer. This is the crazy dashboard of the Citroën GSA. I never tire of it, never ever. It looks absolutely superb. Struggling a bit because it's so sunny today, but if I turn the ignition on, you can see it all lights up, and the warning lights aim at where the problems are on said car. Rotating speedometer, so it actually rotates. It's a fixed needle, and it's the same with the rev counter as well. So if I start the engine manually, you can hopefully see that that's quite interesting. We've got the handbrake sprouting from the dashboard with a catch there, so you actually have to use it in an underhand manner, if you'll pardon the expression. That'll do yourself, thank you. Heater controls here, 5-speed gearbox on these later ones, earlier GSAs, and I think some of the GSs, well certainly all the GSs I think were 4-speed. 5-speed came a bit late. But yeah, very simple, very, very comfy seats. These are out of a Palace, a top spec model. And yeah, a very nice car to drive, very practical, an enormous boot, and of course the estate's also self-level, so you can chuck all manner of weight in the back. The car will always remain level. The rear brakes automatically get their fluid through the rear suspension unit, so if there's more weight they operate the rear brakes more for better stopping power. Just marvellous bits of technology. This stalk here, if you can call it a stalk, this sprouting rotating drum has the indicators on that side, the wiper controls up here, lights down the bottom, horn hidden behind the indicator stalk, only works with the ignition on. There we go. So that's the indicators. All actually very intuitive once you get used to it and realize where everything is. And then we've got another bank of switches over this side. It's actually really well thought out, so all the controls are at your fingertips. So yeah, a great car, but you're not really here for the history of the GSA, are you? Let's see if we can start it by hand. I've never done this before. It is my first attempt. I lost the starting handle for quite a while, so that put paid to that. Let's see how it goes. Right, we'll put it off long enough. Let's see if we can make this work. Handle goes through there. It engages with a fan there. Turn the engine until you meet resistance. I'd say that's feeling quite resistive. Right there, we'll just get the throttle pump. Make sure there's a charge in there, and she's away! So there you go, you can start a Citroën GSA on the starting handle. I will repeat it again because it bears further caution, but always have your hand like this around the starting handle. Never wrap your thumb around, because it does and can kick back, and if it kicks back you can actually break your thumb. And if you're trying to hand start a Model T Ford, they were notorious for being even worse. So there you go, I hope you've enjoyed that little snippet, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell!